My friends, thank you so very much for watching this video. We are winning the war to save pop culture from the cultural vandals that assail it, but we need your help. Please subscribe to this channel and ring the notification bell, and from time to time check to make sure you haven't been unsubscribed by YouTube without your knowledge. It happens to random subscribers every day. I also started listing links to all my videos and live streams for free over at patreon.com/doomcock, and you do not have to be a member to view them. They're visible to the public for free. Thanks also to all of you who liked our videos and sent us a tip by clicking the super thanks button, and as always I promise to answer each and every super thanks I receive. Thanks for watching everyone, and now on to the video. Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, broadcasting from my hidden base at the center of the Earth, and I am here today because one of our agents in the field managed to get tickets to see Dune 2 last night at the preview screening, and he is ready to report back on what he saw, giving us all a spoiler-free review that we can trust. That's right, my friends. These days, mainstream film critics cannot be trusted for the most part. Sure, there are a few honest ones left out there, but all too many of them are bought and paid for shills looking to put asses in theater seats for their corporate masters. Enough of them, so it's hard to know who you can put your faith in. Well, my friends, look no further. This channel has your back. There are two burning questions that have been on the minds of fans since Dune Part 1. Is the sequel going to kick ass, or is it going woke? Some fans were very nervous that the focus of the sequel was going to shift away from Paul Atreides being the Kwisatz Haderach and make Chani the hero, a stunning and brave Fremen woman. So did they make it woke, or is Dune 2 going to be as good a movie as Dune 1 was? Now, some of you out there may not have liked the first Dune, or if you did, you may have preferred David Lynch's version of Dune. Personally, I like both versions. The way I see it, David Lynch's Dune was essentially a comic book movie with bright colors, elaborate costumes, operatic performances, whereas Denis Villeneuve's Dune is, to my way of thinking, an art house movie, focused strongly on subtlety, visual composition, and a lyrical pace. Personally, while I liked both, I do prefer Lynch's Dune. That amazing score by Toto alone is enough to guarantee that, but all things considered, I did enjoy them both, and I'm anxious to hear if Dune is going to be a dream, a dud, or a complete shit show. And so, without further ado, I present to you our man in the field, one of my pop culture pundits from Pop Culture Breakdown, Rob Wright. Rob, thanks for joining us tonight, just minutes after seeing Dune 2, so tell us, what did you think?
Thank you so much, Lord Doomcock, for having me on. And I saw the movie in IMAX. First off, if you go see it, try and see it in IMAX because it's visually stunning. Overall, I would say this movie kicked ass. It is not woke. I was one of the skeptics who thought that it might get a little bit woke and that Chani would be stunning and brave. And while she has her moments, it's Paul's movie, and it's very much about him. So all your worries about that can subside.
Oh God! Thank God! I honestly was getting concerned. I didn't see how they could do that. There was nothing in the first Dune that made me feel that it was going to be disrespectful or that they didn't get it. I thought it was an excellent adaptation, kind of an epic sweeping scope, and I was hoping that would be continued in the second movie. Was it?
Yes, it does. And it picks up right where the first one left off. You are right there with them. So the first one left off where they've got the body of the guy that Paul defeated in battle, and they're taking him back to where the Fremen live. So it picks up right there. And this movie, compared to the last one, has a ton more action. It's got a more detailed plot to it. The main theme of the film is he going to be kind of the Messiah, or is he just wanting to be a good fighter to win his freedom back for these people and possibly get revenge for the loss of his father? So you've got kind of those kind of conflicts being settled during this movie. His mother plays a pivotal role in this, and you get to see her kind of a little bit manipulate things. but she does a great job. Paul is treated as a hero in this. It's very much his movie. It's not somebody trying to take his place or anything like that. And he kind of goes through this journey of learning the Fremen ways and really becoming the hero that you kind of expect him to be. So it's really good. It's well acted. I love the scenery. It's just as visually stunning as the last one. The worms are really cool. They have a good mix of CGI and practical effects. And then you get to see the Harkin homeworld. And that's kind of cool because some of the shots are in black and white, and it gives you kind of a good, interesting perspective. And you see some of those in the trailer. And then you're introduced to Fade. And while I love Sting's role as Fade, Fade is played a little bit differently, and he's a badass. He's really cool. He's a no shit guy. He's not as talkative as Sting's Fade, but he's nonetheless just as cunning and just as ruthless. So you've got a really cool contrast between Paul and Fade that this movie kind of builds up to kind of in the middle of it. So it's really cool how they play that out and how it's played out. Now, we'll let you know that it's pretty much you're going to be in your seat for 3 hours. With the previews, it's running a 3-hour movie, but it's worth it. If you see it in IMAX. They gave us a cool poster, which is pretty awesome.
That's an epic shot. I mean, so it was worth sitting for 3 hours. Were you ever bored? Are there any slow parts, or does it just kick ass?
It kicks ass. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. There were a few slow parts, but the first one was slower than this one. This one had, good beats and good rhythm, and it moved fairly well. I mean, I didn't feel like I was sitting there for 3 hours. I was deeply involved in the story, and I liked the 1980s version as well. And so, I kind of knew the story from that, and I saw where this one was taking more time and more effort to tell the story in a longer version, in a longer, more in-depth way than the 1980s version. But I still like them both. This one, you really get a sense for what he's going through and what these people are going through and kind of what he needs to do and how he comes to realize it. And then just some of the action scenes where they're destroying some of the spice stuff is pretty cool. What they do with a rocket launcher and some of the explosions are really, really awesome. And it's got a lot of action, and it just kicks ass. I mean, I was sitting there, and in the theater and IMAX, you can kind of feel the sounds, and it's a movie that you want to see, and you get back into it. It made me feel like it was before the pandemic, before all this woke stuff, where I could just go in and enjoy and have fun, and that's the most important thing about this. It's a fun movie.
So, do you think that it is quality in terms of pre-COVID? In other words, before everything got so degraded that we're grateful for, when a movie's just mediocre and isn't woke? Is it ultimately good, or is it simply good compared to all the direct that's out there now?
I think it's simply good. I think it would fit in with movies that were made before pre-COVID that we talk about. If you kind of know the story, you kind of know that there's a little bit of political intrigue with the Bene Gesserits, and how they manipulate things. And it's kind of about how they manipulate, kind of the Messiah that they're trying to manipulate people to, or manipulate their way through. So that's kind of the main theme. But it's really, really well done. And I think based upon what I was talking with other people at the theater about, is that it follows the books really well. So if you're a fan of the books, you'll be very happy with this. And it's a good book into the first one. And then, it sets itself up for probably several sequels. He was good. He basically, you see him learning the Fremen's ways and his willingness to be taught. And then he has, like I said, he has the conflict with whether he goes and becomes a Messiah, or is he just a leader trying to get revenge. And he has a little bit of that internal conflict. But you see growth and depth to the character. Wow. And you see him learning and becoming this. It isn't like he just steps up and just, is more deep right away. He kind of proves himself along the way.
That's excellent. I mean, so he's not like a Gary Sue. He's not just like the bestest ever to start with. They're continuing his growth and his path, and the actor is up to the challenge.
Yes, he is.
Excellent. This is incredibly exciting. I can't wait to get to see it for myself. Unfortunately, I was unable to get a ticket for the showing today, but I am blown away with anticipation. How's the ending in terms of, not to give away where it ends, but does it feel like a complete now saga, or does it feel like another cliffhanger where they have to have another movie afterwards?
It completes kind of the first movie, kind of like in the 1980s version. It kind of completes it right there, but it ends with stuff going into the next movie, potentially the next movie. Basically, kind of if you've watched the 1980s version, you kind of know a little bit about how this one ends. It's similar, but I would say it sets it up for the next movie, but it kind of brings kind of what's going on Arrakis to a closure at that point. Yeah.
I'm glad you were there. I'm glad you were in the field covering this. Is there anything else that you would like to say about this movie?
Yeah, I would say don't worry about Shania's character as much. She does have her moments, but I would say that she's the skeptic, and it's interesting some of the stuff that happens with her character. And you kind of feel for her at the end a little bit. The other character that we're introduced to is the Emperor's daughter, and she has a minor role in this, but like the 1980s, she kind of narrates part of it. So you get the same that you had in the one from the 80s with her narrating it, and she's actually in it. Christopher Walken plays the Emperor, and he's interesting, but he doesn't have screen time. If you love Walken as I do, you'll just be familiar with like his mannerisms and how he reacts to things, and it's typical Walken. But
does he work as the Emperor then, or do you just see Christopher Walken up there?
He kind of works as the Emperor. I still see him as Walken a little bit, so that could have been a little bit better. But he does have some Walken-esque moments that you'll find in there, because it's Christopher Walken, and you see how he's dealt with people in different movies, and it's just he's got the mannerisms, he's got that style.
I just want to ask, at any point, does Paul Atreides say to the Emperor, "So you're part eggplant"?
No, not that line, but he does have a good. His scenes with the Emperor are really good, really momentous.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
Very memorable at the end, and very, very good. I don't want to give it away, but yeah, it's Paul pretty much owns the screen, and some of the fights at the end are pretty satisfying and pretty cool.
Well, I want to thank you for being our man in the field tonight, a true pop culture pundit, bringing us some joyous relief that Dune 2 is not woke, and everybody is in for one hell of a treat come Thursday and this next weekend. And of course, we will be reviewing this with you and Mexican Iron Man on Pop Culture Breakdown this Wednesday. So folks, if you want to hear what Mexican Iron Man thinks and have a discussion between these guys, be sure and check that out. Rob, thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you, and thank you to all the folks out in Xanadu. Catch us on Pop Culture Breakdown on Wednesday night, and we'll talk more about this.
Absolutely, and of course I will be doing my own review after I've seen it. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock and Robert Wright. Be sure and check out his channel, Rob Wright's Gen X Pop Culture, on YouTube. The link will be in the video description. Stay angry, folks, but stay hopeful. Looks like we've got a hell of a movie to look forward to. Ha 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 ha